I have some thrilling news when it comes to Hedera. According to the Cointelegraph, the Hashgraph Association has partnered with Taurus to advance secure custody, staking, and tokenizing Hedera's HBAR cryptocurrency globally. Now, people may be thinking, okay, who cares about this? Well, you have to take a look at the goal and the purpose of this, and it's actually very fantastic. The aim of this is primarily for financial institutions, making the ecosystem more accessible to banks and enterprises globally. This is very fantastic in my opinion, because the way I view it is that the key to mass scale adoption is through enterprise adoption. Take a look at the internet, for instance. Yeah, sure, the retail market, it did help somewhat, but what really caused the internet to be at the level in which we see of today? That was through enterprise adoption. Once enterprises truly started adopting the internet, that was when the internet really took off. And the reason why, in my opinion, is because enterprises, they usually have the capital, they have the volume, and they have the resources to facilitate growth at such a much larger scale as opposed to, let's say, the retail market. So I like this. It showcases that Hedera moving forward is really going to be recognized as one of these major players in terms of a project that is heavily focused not only just for the enterprise market, but also well suited for it. Other projects out there, they have a focus on the retail aspect, and then they're trying to makeshift some random alterations to be focused on the enterprise market. But when it comes to Hedera, I think from the ground up, it's really built for this, and I do really love it. It doesn't necessarily mean that it's going to see mass scale institutional adoption in the next 6 months or whatever, but it doesn't really matter because this is a big narrative that I think a lot of people care about. Yeah, sure, AI is going to be massive, blockchain gaming, people also love decentralized finance projects, but I think this right here could really be such a big narrative too. Again, projects that are focused and also cater to the enterprise market. Now, we take a look at the Hashgraph Association, a nonprofit organization building ecosystems using Hedera Hashgraph's decentralized ledger technology. Again, this is a part of, this news, right? So I think that should be taken into consideration. Now, people may be thinking, okay, partnering with Taurus, who cares about this? No one's ever really heard of it. And maybe, yeah, in some cases, because this isn't like the most popular thing of all time, but I think it's thrilling news nonetheless, because people may argue that, okay, this is not the most massive news ever, but it's impossible to have massive news upon massive news like every single day or every single week, if that makes sense. So I think this is a good step in the right direction. And Hedera, compared to other projects out there, the news has actually been pretty consistent. If you take a look at my previous videos when it comes to Hedera, I've been able to talk about these news when it comes to Hedera, but other projects not really, because there's not really much going on. Because I think in some cases, the team is a little bit lazy. Now, it doesn't necessarily mean that it's due to complete laziness. In some cases, maybe they just don't have any partnerships. But when it comes to Hedera, it looks like they're not lazy, because think about this. Many enterprises, of course, they know about blockchain technology. That's a given. So it's very easy to pitch to them about blockchain technology. But when it comes to Hedera, because it's a DAG, a directed acyclic graph, it may sound a little bit foreign to some enterprises, at least, who may not be in that know, if that makes sense. So again, if you consider the difficulty about pitching this new idea, and you couple that with the fact that, this whole crypto space overall is just this whole, blockchain related project space isn't really that developed yet, this is a very impressive feat in my opinion. Now, of course, a directed acyclic graph is much better than traditional blockchain technology, in my opinion. Like, for instance, improved data storage. It's usually a lot faster, a lot more scalable. But again, sometimes people don't know this. So it's pretty difficult to kind of convince them. It's like, for instance, trying to convince people about electric cars. Like, I'm talking about ages ago. That was pretty difficult. Everyone was fixated on these, combustion engines. So the way I view it is that this is kind of like the electric car of the whole space. But of course, it takes some time. But the fact that we're seeing this good of an adoption early on, even though it's not the best, that's very impressive. And Hedera, I think it has some sort of aura or energy that really can't be designed or bought. What do I mean by that? If you take a look at, let's say someone creates a project, they can't just automatically say that, oh yeah, we're going to do this aspect. So then the community becomes very passionate and very invested in the project. In a sense, they're very emotionally driven in a way that they really like the project, right? That's pretty difficult to do that. So when it comes to Hedera, the fact that the community is very passionate, it feels like a meme coin type of community, that right there is very impressive. Hedera is a very lucky project in my opinion. Not every project can have this sort of passion in terms of the community. I'm not necessarily saying that only good projects have it. Even some bad projects have it too, but sometimes it's like a coin flip. We don't really know. It can't be designed. A project can be designed to have a good use case, but it can't be designed to have a very strong and passionate community. But Hedera has that for whatever reason. It has that sort of aura, if that makes sense. And I think that right there means that Hedera is a very lucky project, at least in my opinion. Now, why do I think this is the case? Take a look at Luna Classic. I mean, when you consider, for instance, a very fundamentally amazing project, like in the case of Avalanche. Avalanche has a very good following, but if you take a look at the passion for the project, what has a better passionate community? Luna Classic or Avalanche? I would say hands down it's Luna Classic. Even though, again, Luna Classic, no way the fundamentals can even compare to Avalanche, especially as of right now. It's pretty much off into the abyss. But again, I think that if anything gives the distinction as to why having a passionate community does matter, and Hedera has that. However, I think a major factor why this could be the case is for people who care about leadership. Because I know some people out there who believe in Ripple just simply due to the fact that Brad Garlinghouse is the leader, and then for whatever reason, they like XRP, just because of that. And when it comes to Hedera, it just takes things to a whole nother level, because you take a look at its governing council, it does include Google, LG, you take a look at Dell Technologies, Boeing. There's 39 members, by the way. This is how amazing it is. And I think this really does give people a good sense of confidence, in a sense that it's not a project that's going to fail off into the abyss anytime soon. Because these large-scale enterprises, they're not going to want to see Hedera fail. It would be a bad look. And if you think about it, $1 billion, $5 billion for any of these large-scale enterprises, it's like peanuts for them. They can easily, rescue Hedera for whatever reason it fails, which I don't think it will, but still, I think you get my point here. And HBAR at the price of $3, that's still my price target, by the way, for this bull run. You take a look at how there's over 600 million crypto owners, more than ever before in history, according to Crypto.com research, the number of institutional investors, the amount of enterprise adoption. I don't see why not. $3 for HBAR, considering current circulating supply and market cap, would be around $115 billion. The way I view it is that if something like BNB could reach over $100 billion in market cap back in 2021, why can't this do that, however, this time around? If not better. Yeah, I just don't see why not. No, it's going to take some time, but I think that 2025 could be a very special year, which is why I'm still dollar cost averaging into HBAR, despite me making a very good call on HBAR, by the way. This is a verifiable fact. I pretty much predicted this pump to an exact T, but even besides that, I think $3, there's still ways to go there. And I'm still very bullish on HBAR. I think beyond the price of $1, really growth for HBAR could feel hypothetically very exponential, because I think at that point, the FOMO is going to just be insane. $2, $3 at that point. I just don't see why not. But again, $3 is still my most bullish case scenario price target. I'm not giving up. I think in the next 6 months to 10 months, man, this could look so different in a good way, of course. HBAR hasn't done bad by any means, but I think better days are ahead, and $3, that's still my price target for this bull run, and I really can't wait. And make sure to subscribe if you gain value from this video. I'd greatly appreciate it. It's been Lee the Captain, and I'll catch you all on the next one. I'm out. Peace. Bye.